So allow me to disrupt your thinking for a moment. I want you to imagine something with me. Picture yourself walking into a room with your ideal prospects. CEOs, executives, decision makers with $1 million budget. But instead of having to introduce yourself and explain why they should listen to you, they already know who you are. They've actually been waiting to meet you because you are the authority in your space. Now, contrast that with how you're feeling right now. Do you perhaps feel like you're the best kept secret in your industry? And do you have an offering that can change and even revolutionize your industry? The likelihood is you're brilliant at what you do. You deliver incredible results and you care deeply about success for you and for your clients. But you're using the same strategies that almost everyone else is using. And unfortunately, that won't take you to where you want to go. Because there are countless brilliant visions that never materialize. And I'm about to share with you why. And I'm going to show you how to transform from the invisible visionary into the recognized authority. And I'm going to give you a way to make it happen in just one day. But first, let me ask you this. What if your vision dies with you? And what if the solutions that you have, the insights that you've gained, and the transformation and growth you can create for others, what if it never reaches the people that desperately need it? Simply because you never emerged from the old way of doing things. And that thought should terrify you because it's happening all the time. But in the next couple of minutes, you're going to discover 3 things that will change how you think about your brand and your business forever. First, I'm going to reveal the one belief that's keeping you invisible. And this belief is so deeply ingrained that most experts never even question it. But once you see it, you can never unsee it. And secondly, I'm going to show you the authority system that transforms invisible experts into visible authorities. And third, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your expertise into a systematic revenue generating engine. And at the end, I'm going to show you how to get your complete authority system built and deployed in one intensive day. Meaning, no more trying to compete against rivals with huge marketing budgets. My name is Charles Veyer and I used to be exactly where many geniuses are right now. I was the expert that no one knew about. I had the offers, I had the credentials, and I had the results, but I was completely invisible. And I remember realizing how bad it had gotten. I was prospecting to keep my pipeline full, which it was, but I was burnt out and I was frustrated from working 16 hours a day. And I was thinking to myself, there has to be a better way. And here's what I discovered. The problem wasn't my expertise. The problem was that I had bought into the biggest lie in our industry. The lie that good work speaks for itself. That if I just deliver incredible results, recognition will follow. But that's not how business works. But everything changed when I joined a webinar by a guy called T. Harv Eker, one of the world's most sought after trainers on influence at scale. And that's where I discovered the principles I'm about to share with you right now. I went from being unknown to being recognized as a leading authority in my space. I started getting invited to speak at conferences. Prospects began reaching out to me instead of me chasing them. And that allowed me to triple my fees and do 6 figures a month as a performance coach and content consultant. I've helped founders, consultants, and even other coaches to transform their businesses and their lives as a result. I've worked with brands like Nike, Deloitte, PwC. I've delivered transformational experiences for most of the major banks across South Africa. So I'm not here to teach theory. I'm here to share what actually works. And I'm going to show you how to play a bigger game through authority activation. Now, I need to share something with you that's going to challenge everything you believe about success in your industry. Most experts operate under the dangerous delusion that expertise alone is enough. That if they just create better offers and service delivery, then recognition and scaling will follow. And they believe that good work speaks for itself. But let me ask you something. If that were true, would you be watching this right now? If incredible offers and effective implementation really spoke for itself, wouldn't you already be the recognized authority in your space? So here's the truth that changes everything. In today's economy, your expertise is only as valuable as your ability to communicate it with authentic authority. And the only difference between your genius and your bank balance is your ability to influence at scale. Now think about that for a moment. All the knowledge you have, all the results you've created, all the lives and businesses that you could transform, none of it matters if you can't communicate in a way that moves people to action. Look at Elon Musk. Is he the smartest engineer in the world? Probably not. But he is the most influential one. And why? Because every time he speaks, he's not just sharing information, he's programming how millions of people think about the future. So let's pause for another moment. I want you to imagine this. What if in 6 months from now, you were the authority in your space? Imagine prospects were reaching out to you instead of you chasing them. And what if you could simply charge premium fees because people saw you as the obvious choice, not just another option in a noisy market? What would that do for your brand? What would it do for your income? What would it do for your legacy? Now imagine the alternative. What if in 6 months from now, nothing has changed? You're still the best kept secret and you're still fighting for every opportunity using the same old strategies. Honestly, which future do you want? Because the choice you make in the next few minutes will decide which one becomes your reality. You see, the way to build influence at scale is through authentic yet strategic communication. And if you can accept that, if you can let go of the belief that good work alone is enough, then everything that I'm about to share with you will transform your business and your life. So pay attention. The first pillar is authority positioning. And this is where many get it wrong. They talk about their credentials and their processes, but here's what you need to understand. Nobody cares about your credentials and your processes. They care about their transformation. Now, let me ask you something. When someone asks you, what do you do? What's the first thing you say? Do you say, I'm a business consultant or I'm a fractional executive? If so, you just became invisible. You just blended into the crowd of thousands of other people saying the exact same thing. But what if instead you positioned yourself around the specific transformation that you create? What if you became known for solving a problem that others can't solve, or solving it in a way that others can't replicate because they're not you? Now, I want you to think about it this way. When you say, I'm a business consultant, you sound like everyone else. But when you position yourself around the unique transformation that you create and the way you create it, you become the obvious choice. Now I want you to imagine you walking into a networking event, and instead of people's eyes glazing over you when you introduce yourself, they actually lean in and they start asking questions. They want to know more because they already know that you are the authority in your space. Wouldn't that be cool? Of course it would. So here's the authority positioning formula. Number 1, your unique mechanism. What is your distinctive approach? Number 2, what is your transformational promise? What specific outcome do you guarantee? And then number 3, credibility proof. What gives you the right to make that claim? You see, the difference between an expert and an authority is this. Experts share what they know. Authorities shape how people think about their problems and their solutions. So which one are you going to be? Now, you might already be well positioned strategically, but the next 2 pillars are where the magic really happens. The second pillar is the influence amplification system. And this is where a lot of experts trap themselves in linear thinking. And right now, you are probably operating really well on one-to-one influence. You're good at showing them how you can transform their business. But here's what you need to understand. Authority figures operate with exponential influence. And let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you are in a room with 500 decision makers. You share your framework, your insights, your unique approach, and those 500 people go back to their organizations and they start to implement your ideas. And suddenly you've not just impacted 500 people, but thousands with one presentation. And that means your ideas start to spread throughout the entire industry. Your frameworks are being adopted by companies you haven't even heard of. And that's exponential influence. But here's the question that's probably going through your mind right now. How do I get in front of 500 decision makers? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you. And you might also be thinking, but I'm not a natural influencer, or I don't like self-promotion. But here's the truth. This isn't about being loud or promotional. This is about being generous with your expertise in a strategic way. So here's the influence amplifier framework. Number 1, concept creation. You develop frameworks that others can adopt and share. Number 2, platform leverage, where you reach decision makers, collaborators, distributors, investors, and not just buyers. And number 3, advocacy architecture. That's where you design your message to spread. So imagine having your ideas referenced in industry publications. Imagine other consultants talking about your frameworks. And imagine being known, not just for what you do, but for how you think. You see, when you master this, you're not just building a business, you're building a movement. And movements scale exponentially. And the third pillar is the revenue generating machine. You see, most experts think of speaking and thought leadership as brand building or a nice to have. But strategic leaders treat every presentation as a revenue generating asset. Strategic speakers architect experiences that compel specific actions from specific audiences to create specific business outcomes. Every presentation you give, whether it's a 90-minute keynote talk or a 3-minute LinkedIn video, it should be designed to move your ideal prospects closer to working with you. Not through manipulation, but through genuine value delivery that makes the next step obvious. Just think about this. What if your next presentation generated more qualified leads than 6 months of networking? What if one keynote presentation created a 6-month waiting list at your current capacity? That's grounds for scaling, right? And what if one expertly crafted webinar could reach hundreds of ideal clients every month and give them absolute clarity and even excitement about the potential of working with you? And best of all, this happens on autopilot. Imagine having systematic processes where every time you speak, qualified prospects reach out to you. And imagine never having to chase leads again because your system is doing the selling for you. And when you master this, speaking becomes your highest ROI business development activity. This system is built on a master structure that ensures that every time you speak publicly, you move people closer to working with you. And the outline of the structure is as follows. Number 1, you open your talk with an introductory sequence that speaks to the challenge and to the desired outcomes of the audience. And this immediately commands their attention. Secondly, you share credibility, maybe even some social proof to qualify yourself as the authority on your topic. And third, you use a story-based coaching sequence that triggers the oxytocin release in their brain, connecting you to the audience on a subconscious level. Then fourth, you trigger the dopamine response through fulfilling your promise by providing value-based content that moves the audience closer to their desired outcome. And then you close the communication with an engaging question, a moving slogan, and finally an invitation that calls for action. And that's the basic outline of the framework used by the world's most renowned authorities who move the masses with their message. And this is taught in high-level masterminds, where the investment is north of 6 figures. I know because that's where I learned it. Now I want to be direct with you about something. You have a choice to make. And this choice will determine whether you're still the best kept secret 6 months from now, or whether you will be the recognized authority in your space. So you can take these concepts right now, figure them out over the next year or two, while still continuing using the same old strategies as before, or you can fast track your transformation and have your complete authority system activated in a 1-day sprint. So, for the visionary who no longer accepts being the best kept secret in your space, I want to invite you to my exclusive Authority Accelerating Training Program. And here's exactly what you'll get. Component 1, the Authority Accelerator Full Day Intensive Training. The value of this is over $5,000, where we build out your complete authority foundation, as well as your signature positioning and your unique methodology that sets you apart in your market. Component 2 is where I train you on the master structure, my proprietary framework that works for everything: keynote talks, webinars, and short-form video content. One master framework, infinite application. And the value of this alone is worth over $5,000. Then component 3 is your industry-ready keynote presentation. And this commodity is priceless. You get your signature keynote talk fully developed and stage ready for conferences. And this becomes your calling card that opens doors, creates authority, influence, and opportunities at scale. And component 4 is the video content and webinar authority system. This is your complete system for creating influence and authority at scale. It includes your lead generating webinar and the master short form video content strategy. And this is critical because we're living in the age of short form content. Leaders like John Sane and, dare I mention, Andrew Tate all use the same structure across all platforms: keynote talks, online masterclasses or webinars, and short form videos. And that's exactly what you'll get. This is the exact system that I use, and I also teach it to professionals who understand the priceless value of building authority, influence, and impact at scale. But don't just take my word for it. Have a look at what these professionals who have attended the training with me recently have to say.
The structures are so easy to follow and so well placed You actually can't fail. Cannot not be confident when you stand on stage.
Something huge happened. This is the program to do. I was wondering, how am I going to get clients? Oh, Charles has just destroyed that for me completely. I'm just looking forward to speaking. So take this with Charles. You will never be sorry.
If you really want to take the next step to getting to the masses and to get that word out to however million, billion people you want to do, this is going to help you do it. Without a doubt. This was value for money, which I love. So yeah, if you're sitting on the fence, no, come on. Get off that fence and do this.
Now you've heard it directly from professionals who decided to invest in themselves, they applied what they learned, and now they are reaping the rewards. So here's what to do next. Click the Apply Now button right now to fill in a short application form, and if you are approved, I will schedule a call with you where we can cover the entire process, I answer any questions you might have, and then we book you or your team in for the training. And then within 30 days of our sprint day together, you will have your industry-ready keynote talk, your first webinar ready to bring in leads at scale, your video content system, and the exponential authority implementation strategy. So I want to leave you with one final thought. 6 months from now, you're going to be somewhere. You're either going to be the recognized authority in your space, or you're going to be exactly where you are now and maybe a little bit more overworked and frustrated. And the difference between those two futures is in the decision you make right now. You already have the expertise, you already have the results, you already have the ability to transform lives and businesses. And the only thing missing is the voice to share it with the world. So click the link below and take that first step to becoming the recognized authority you are meant to be. Your expertise is too valuable to die in obscurity, and your impact is too important to keep hidden. Your time is now. Let's go.